The weather is about to take a dramatic and powerful turn, and the next few days could bring some of the most intense and fast-changing conditions seen in a long time. From extreme heat to sudden cold, from severe storms to snowfall, everything is shifting rapidly, and the situation is becoming increasingly volatile. A strong and complex weather system is now developing, bringing a major transition across the country. Multiple weather hazards are lining up at once, including heavy snow, severe thunderstorms, powerful winds, and sharp temperature swings as the recent record-breaking warmth begins to collapse. A significant cold front has already moved through large portions of the central and eastern regions, bringing an end to the intense heat that dominated over the past several days. However, this heat has not fully disappeared. It continues to persist strongly across the western and southwestern regions, where temperatures remain unusually high. Over a short period, hundreds of daily temperature records have been broken, highlighting just how extreme and widespread this heat event has been. Behind this cold front, en no tricer descenser Waltoler, cool air has settled in, especially across eastern areas, where temperatures have dropped into the 30s and 40s, creating a much more seasonable feel. But this cooler phase is only temporary. Another surge of warm air is already building and is expected to expand rapidly again as we move into the middle of the week. At the same time, the overall atmospheric pattern is becoming increasingly active and unstable. A new system is forming as moisture begins to push inland from the northwest. This moisture will gradually organize into a strengthening low-pressure system, setting the stage for another round of impactful and potentially dangerous weather. As we move into mid to late week, the environment will become highly favorable for severe storm development. Warm air, increasing moisture, and growing instability will combine to create conditions capable of producing damaging winds, large hail, and a low but still present risk of tornadoes. Temperatures ahead of this system will rise rapidly once again. Many areas will experience unseasonably warm conditions, with some locations reaching levels more typical of late spring or even early summer. Central regions could see temperatures approaching or exceeding 100 degrees, while northern areas climb well into the 80s. This sharp contrast between very warm air and incoming colder air will play a critical role in intensifying storm activity. The collision of these air masses will create a volatile setup, especially across central and eastern regions where the strongest storms are expected to develop. Once this system moves through, another dramatic shift will occur. Cold air will surge back in, leading to a rapid and noticeable drop in temperatures. In some areas, this transition could even allow for light snowfall on the backside of the system, particularly where colder air arrives quickly enough to change precipitation type. Strong and potentially damaging winds will also be a major concern with this system. Gusty conditions are expected across large areas, increasing the risk of blowing debris and hazardous travel conditions. In regions where the ground remains dry, these winds could also elevate the risk of fire spread. Meanwhile, northern areas will experience snowfall as colder air interacts with incoming moisture. While widespread heavy accumulation is not expected everywhere, localized areas, especially those with favorable conditions, could see more significant totals. Looking further ahead, naisip pattern and Washington. The pattern remains very active and far from settling down. Additional systems are expected to develop, and another round of severe weather may emerge later in the week depending on how atmospheric conditions continue to evolve. Overall trend clearly shows ongoing temperature instability, with rapid swings between warm and cold conditions. Warmer than average temperatures will continue to expand across many regions, while some northern areas may remain under the influence of cooler air for longer periods. At the same time, precipitation levels are expected to increase across several regions, particularly in areas already experiencing active weather. This indicates a continuation of an unsettled and dynamic pattern. In the coming days, all elements are in place for a highly active weather period. Rarer storms, strong winds, temperature extremes, and even snowfall are all part of this evolving situation. This is a powerful reminder of how quickly conditions can change, especially during this time of year. The atmosphere is highly energized, and the pattern remains unstable, meaning further developments are likely. Conditions will continue to shift rapidly, and the weather will remain unpredictable and impactful over the next several days.